Hello, everyone. So we're quickly just gonna do a quick rundown of the training application. Not really a rundown, just like a few tips and tricks for it. So let's just go through that. Just gonna wait for it to appear. There it is. So just want to say when you're really practicing on these questions on your own time, I want you to really pay attention to the questions as sometimes they have multiple parts and the client might still end up saying no, but you might think the answer is yes, but it could be no. So I would really strongly recommend to go over the questions, and when you are grouping them, that's going to come up later. But I want you to not memorize, but almost know that some of these questions have different parts. So let's have a look at here. This question in part A in guarantee acceptance. Have you ever been told you have, or investigated, or treated, or taken medication, or been advised to take or prescribed medication for? Um, you know, so quick tip here, you know how it says, have you been advised to take or prescription medication for? What happens is a lot of times clients say that, they had, for example, cancer in the past, but, the doctor told me I had cancer. I didn't feel anything different. Or, whether there's diabetes, the doctor told me I had diabetes, but I feel fine. It's whatever. And, they try to avoid the question, but here, there's multiple parts in this question where this is why it's so important for you to read it, the whole thing out, specifically with those difficult clients, where I will go ahead and ask them, hey, what's the doctor told you? Has the doctor said you have diabetes? They'll say yes. So you want to, again, tell them to help that, you're there to help them get the best rate, but you have to tell them, uh, you have to answer these questions to the best of your knowledge, for lack of a better term. So let's look at the second part. So what have they been diagnosed for in the guaranteed life acceptance? Metastatic cancer. And what is metastatic cancer? If a client has had cancer in the past, does not mean you'll say yes to this. What all it, and this question is asked if someone has had a metastatic cancer. What a metastatic cancer is, if the cancer has spread to some other part. In other terms, stage 4 cancer. So if it started in my liver, has it gone to a different body part? Has it gone to my stomach as well? Only then would only when then would the client say yes to this question. And notice how there's an or here, or second diagnosis of cancer. So perhaps my client only had a cancer once in their lifetime, and there was no second diagnosis. The answer is still no here. So let's have another look at another example here in the deferred elite section. So what does question 8 ask you? Do you have diabetes that was diagnosed 20 or more years ago, and within the last 12 months, have you taken insulin or been advised to take or prescribed insulin? Again, notice how it says advised to take insulin, because a lot of people will try to get away and say, oh, you know what, my doctor said I need insulin, but I'm fine. I don't need it. So you want to be very careful. And another thing in this question, it also says if your diabetes was diagnosed more than 20 years ago, uh, and within the last 12 months, have you taken insulin? So for you to say yes to this question, again, notice how it's summed up here. 20 years of diabetes, and you start taking the insulin. So let's say my client took insulin 2 years ago, then that's fine. The answer is no. Or the diabetes was diagnosed less than 20 years ago. Again, the answer is no. So you have to, it's a variable question. You will have to say yes to both, only to kind of get to the next step. So again, watch out for these tricky questions and also your tricky clients. And yeah, good luck. See you on the next video.